Welcome back to Solve It with Sir Jude. Today, ang i-discuss naman natin will be all about solving quadratic inequality in one variable. So this is based on the most essential learning competencies that was given by the Department of Education. So isa sa mga kailangan mong skills dito ay alam mo dapat kung paano mag-solve ng quadratic equations. So I hope na napanood mo na yung different video lessons na ginawa natin in solving quadratic equations. So kung na-miss mo, eto, sa taas, pwede mo siyang i-click for the playlist. So paano nga ba mag-solve ng quadratic inequalities in one variable? So let us try and let us see kung paano nga ba mag-solve. Okay, if you can see, we have here 4 examples. And if you can see, example number 1 and example number 2 are almost the same. Okay? Pareha silang gumagamit ng greater than. Yung example number 1, greater than. Pero example number 2 ay greater than, yun nga lang may equal na kasunod. Same with examples 3 and 4. Okay? Yung isa ay less than, yung isa naman ay less than or equal. So, etong dalawa, first 2 examples, 1 and 2, parehas lang sila ng graph halos. Okay? Ang itsura ng graph nila will be, ayan, halimbawang eto si number line, shaded yung left part at saka right part ng graph. So it means that the numbers within the shaded region do sa kanan at sa kaliwa will be included in the solution set. Same with examples 3 and 4. So si 3 and 4 naman, since less than ang gamit nila, nasa gitna naman ang shaded region. So in between, kapag may less than na ginamit, kapag greater than, extremes to the left and to the right. Okay? So let us now solve. Dun muna tayo sa item number 1. So we are given in item number 1 by x squared minus x is greater than 6. So paano kaya natin to isosolve? So kailangan lahat muna ng terms ay nasa left side ng ating inequality. So therefore, etong si positive 6, kailangan mapunta yan sa kabila. Okay? We can use addition property or we can just use transpose or transfer the term. Since positive to, kapag transfer natin, that will become negative. So we now have x squared minus x minus 6 is greater than 0. So kung mapapansin nyo, parang standard form ng quadratic equation, no? Yun nga lang, hindi siya equation, inequality siya. Lahat ng terms kailangan nasa kabilang side at yung isang side will be 0. Okay? So kung na-transfer na natin, ang kasunod na gagawin, kailangan nating i-change itong inequality symbol na ito sa equal sign. Okay? So let us do that. So we now have x squared minus x minus 6 is equal to 0. Ayan. So quadratic equation na siya. And this quadratic equation can be factored. So what will be the factors? So let us first factor x squared. So the factors of x squared will be x times x. And then the factors of negative 6 that will add up to negative 1. Dalawang numbers kapag minultiply negative 6. At the same time, kapag ka-inad natin, it will become negative 1. So that will be negative 3 and then positive 2. So since this is already in factored form, we can apply the zero product property. Let us equate both factors to 0. Ayan, x minus 3 is equal to 0. The other one, x plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay? So let us get the values of x. So in this first equation, ilipat natin itong negative 3. So that will become x is equal to positive 3. So this is the first critical point. And then the other one, si positive 2 naman, ilipat din natin sa kabila. So that will become x is equal to negative 2. So after natin makuha yung mga values ni x, let us now plot that in the number line. Okay? So ang una nating ipa-plot, syempre yung mas maliit. So that will be negative 2. And then the other one is positive 3. Now, kapag ka greater than at walang equal sa ibaba, the point that we are going to use is open. Ayan, so open. Meaning, hindi kasama si negative 2 at si 3 sa ating solution set. So next, since greater than ito, so nasaan ang shade? So kanina, sinabi nga natin na kapag ka greater than or gumagamit ng greater than, whether it is greater than or greater than equal, nasa left and nasa right yung ating solution set. Okay? So this will be the graph that will describe the possible points or the points that will satisfy the given quadratic inequality. So, hindi na tayo gagamit ng test points. So, eto na agad yon. So, kailangan lang natin tandaan na kapag greater than, left and right yung ating solution set. Kapag naman less than, nasa gitna yung ating solution set. Now, how are we going to formulate our solution set in interval notation? So, interval notation muna tayo. So, ang ating interval notation, that will become, so ano ba yung mga values na magde-describe dito sa side ng graph na to? Ayan, sa side ng graph na yan. So, it consists of negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, down to the negative infinity. So, that will be negative infinity. Okay? Hindi natin i-close ng bracket si infinity. We will enclose them with parentheses. Comma, yung ating critical point which is negative 2. Since hindi kasama si negative 2, i-enclose natin siya by a parenthesis. And then, how about this side of the graph? So, kung mapapansin natin yung mga points dyan will be, ano yung points na mas mataas sa 3? That will be 4, 5, 6, 7, up to the positive infinity. So, that will become, so dito muna tayo sa critical point na 3. So, again, we will be using parentheses since si 3 ay hindi kasama doon sa ating solution set. Comma, so this side of the graph will be positive infinity. And if you can see, we have here two intervals. Since two intervals sila, kailangan natin silang pagsamahin using the union sign. Okay? So this will be the interval notation. Ayan. So check na tayo dyan. How about the set builder notation? So in set builder notation, so kailangan nakaset siya. So that will be the set of x, of all x, such that x. So, paano natin i-describe nga to? So, that will be x is less than negative 2. Okay? Or, since union, or ang gagamitin natin, etong side naman ng solution na to, na kung saan mas mataas kay positive 3, 4, 5, 6, sabi nga natin kanina, up to the positive infinity, that will just be x is greater than 3. Okay? So, this will be our set builder notation. So, etong dalawa na to, interval at saka set builder, ang ginagamit sa pagkuha ng solution set ng quadratic inequalities. Okay, so let us now go to example number 2. Sa example number 2 naman, since example number 1 ay greater than, ito naman ay greater than equal. So tingnan natin mamaya, i-compare natin kung ano yung magiging pagkakaiba nilang dalawa. So, in this case, we have x squared plus 5x minus 14 is greater than or equal to 0. If you can see, lahat na ng terms ay nasa kabilang side. So, no need to transfer terms. So, ang kailangan natin gawin ngayon is to change this inequality symbol to equal sign. So, if that will be the case, we now have x squared plus 5x minus 14 is equal to 0. And then we factor. Kung factorable, kung hindi naman factorable, you may use completing the square or the quadratic formula. So we first factor x squared. So the factors of x squared will be x times x. And then we should think of factors of negative 14. Dalawang number kapag minultiply negative 14. At the same time, kapag kainad natin yung numbers na yun, the result must be 5. So what are the numbers? The numbers will be positive 7 and negative 2. Okay? Since the equation is already in factored form, the next thing that we will do is to apply the zero product property. Let us equate both factors to 0. So x plus 7 is equal to 0, and then the other one, x minus 2 is equal to 0. Okay? Let us now transpose positive 7 to the other side. So that will become x is equal to negative 7. Same with negative 2 here. So we now have x is equal to positive 2. And if you can see, we already have here the critical points or the x values. So let us now have our number line. So i-graph natin si negative 7. So let us suppose that this is negative 7 and this is positive 2. The points negative 7 and 2 are included in the graph. So kailangan natin siyang i-shade. Okay? So close that yan. So, nagiging closed yung dot or nagiging included yung critical points kapag ka may equal sign, yung inequality symbols natin. So, let us now proceed. So, katulad ng sinabi natin kanina na kapag ka greater than or may greater than, we will be shading the left and the right side of our number line. So, nandito yung ating shading. Ayan. So it means that the numbers lesser than negative 7, which are negative 8, negative 9, negative 10, down to the negative infinity, kasama si negative 7, ay solution. Same with positive 2, kasama si positive 2, up to the positive infinity, kasama sa ating solution set. Now, how are we going to write our solution set in interval notation? Okay? So, how are we going to describe this part of the graph? So, that will be negative infinity. Okay? Pababa eh. So, comma, we have negative 7, the critical point. This time, we will be using bracket. Bracket is used if the critical point is included in the solution set. Okay? And then, the other one, we have open bracket, the second critical point which is 2, comma, positive infinity, and then close parentheses. Since dalawa nga yung intervals natin, we will be adding the union symbol. So next, how about the set builder notation? So that will be the set of all x such that x is, paano nga natin to i-describe? So that will be the values negative 7 kasama si negative 7, si negative 8, negative 9, negative 10, pababa. So that will be the values lesser than or equal to negative 7 or less than or equal to negative 7. The union, we will be translating that to or. And then how about this side of the equation? Okay, so if you can see, this includes the values greater than positive 2. Since 2 is included, we will be having x is greater than or equal to positive 2. So this will be the solution set in terms of interval and set notation. Okay, now let us compare. I-compare natin yung dalawa. Ayan. So kapag walang equal sign ang greater than, so that will be open dots. So same ng shading, left and right ang ating shading. And then the interval notation, kung mapapansin natin, since hindi included si negative 2 at saka si positive 3 o yung ating critical point, since walang equal sign ng ating inequality symbol, we will be enclosing them with parentheses. Unlike this one, since included yung ating critical points sa negative 7 and 2, we will be enclosing them with brackets. Okay? Same with this one, the solution set in set builder notation. So, kapag walang equal sign ang ating inequality symbol sa given, wala rin yung mismong sagot. Kapag may equal sign yung ating mismong given, may equal sign yung mismong sagot. So that will be for quadratic inequalities using greater than and greater than equal. So papaano naman kapag less than yung given? Ayan. So example number 3. We are given with x squared minus 5x is less than negative 6. So the first thing that we should do, i-transfer muna natin si negative 6 sa kabila. So it will become x squared minus 5x plus 6 is less than 0. And then we will be changing the inequality symbol to equal sign. So that will become x squared minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. And if you can see, the given quadratic equation is factorable. So we first factor x squared. So the factors of x squared will be x times x. Okay? And then, we need to think of factors of positive 6 na kapag inad natin negative 5 ang magiging sagot. So that will be negative 3 and negative 2. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. Negative 3 plus negative 2 is negative 5. Since naka-factored form na siya, we will be using your zero product property. We will be equating both factors to 0. So x minus 3 equal to 0. And then x minus 2 is equal to 0. So let us transpose negative 3 and negative 2 to the other side of the equation. So the first value of x is positive 3. And then the other value of x will be positive 2. So let us now make our number line. Okay. So let us graph 2 and 3. So dun muna tayo sa mas mababa. So we have here 2 and then the other one is 3. Since parehas ng rule. Since walang equal sign to, 2 and 3 will not be included in our solution set. So therefore we will be using open dots. Yan. And then the graph should be shaded in between those critical points since less than siya. Okay? So, no need for test points. So, ito na agad yung ating magiging graph. So how are we going to describe the graph? So yung mga values ni x will be yung mga numbers lang in between 2 and 3 at hindi kasama si 2 at saka si 3. So how are we going to translate that into solution set using interval notation? Since si 2 at saka si 3 ay hindi kasama, we will be using parentheses. So that will be 2, 3. So this notation simply means na yung mga numbers in between 2 and 3 ay magsasatisfy sa given quadratic inequality, excluding or hindi kasama si 2 at saka si 3. Kaya gumamit tayo ng parentheses. So how are we going to translate this one into set builder notation? So this will be the set of all x such that since yung values ni x will be in between the critical points 2 and 3, so therefore kailangan nasa gitna si x. Okay, sa gitna ni 2 at saka ni 3. And then kailangan nating i-add yung mga less than symbols na ito. Okay, so this will be the solution set in terms of interval and set builder notation. So papaano nga babasahin to? The set of all x such that x is greater than 2 but less than 3. So let us now go to the fourth example. This time, we are given with less than or equal. So how are we going to solve this one? Since all of the terms are on the other side of the inequality, the first thing that we should do is to change the inequality symbol to equal sign. So from x squared minus 25 is less than or equal to 0, it will become x squared minus 25 is equal to 0. You can use factoring or you can use extracting square roots in getting the critical points. So in this case, let us use extracting square roots. So let us isolate the constant. So let us transpose negative 25 to the other side of the equation. So that will become x squared is equal to 25. Then we extract the square roots of both sides of the equation. So that will become x is equal to positive negative 5. So let us now put them in the number line. So the first thing that we should plot is the smaller value, which is negative 5, and then the other one is positive 5. So we should take note that 5 and negative 5 are included in our solution since may equal sign ng ating inequality symbol dito. So therefore, the dots should be shaded. Yan. So it means that negative 5 and 5 are included in our solution set. So next, so where will be the shaded region? Since it uses less than or equal, the shaded region will be in between. Okay? So meaning, all the numbers in between negative 5 and 5 are part of the solution set. And we will be including negative 5 and 5, yung ating mga critical points sa ating solution set. Okay? So how are we going to translate this one in solution set? So let us have the interval notation. So for the interval notation, since the critical points negative 5 and 5 are included, we will be enclosing them with brackets. So we have negative 5, 5. So this means that all the numbers in between negative 5 and 5 are part of the solution set, kasama or including negative 5 and 5. How about translating this one in set builder notation? So this will be the set of all x such that x should be greater than or equal to negative 5 but less than or equal to 5. Okay? So kung mapapansin natin, kapag walang equal sign dito, si set builder notation ay wala rin equal sign sa final answer. Kapag may equal sign si given quadratic inequality, ang ating set builder notation in the final form should have an equal sign in the solution set. Okay? So ayan. So kung mapapansin natin, halos magkapareha sila. Yun nga lang, depende ito kung papaano yung construction or gamit ng inequality symbol. Kapag walang equal sign, katulad na ito ni greater than at ni less than, the points will be open, meaning hindi siya kasama doon sa solution set. And we will be using parentheses. Ayan, naka-parentheses yung ating mga critical points. Unlike kapag greater than or equal, may mga equal signs sa ibaba, ang ating dots will be closed. Okay? Or shaded. Ayan. Just like in the examples. and the critical points will be included. So those critical points will be enclosed by brackets. So ito yung mga paraan kung paano ka magsosolve ng quadratic inequalities in one variable. Now, it's your turn. You need to solve the following quadratic inequalities in one variable. So number 1 is given by x squared minus x minus 12 is greater than 0, and number 2, x squared minus 36 is less than or equal to 0. You may pause the video for a while and answer them, and then kasunod na nito will be our answer. So what are your answers? So let us see kung tama ba yung sagot mo. For number 1, we have x is less than negative 3 or x is greater than 4. Or it can be written in interval notation, negative infinity, comma, negative 3, open interval, union, open interval 4, comma, positive infinity. So meaning that negative 3 and 4 are not included in the solution set. So therefore, if you will be graphing them, the dots should be open. And for number 2, we have x is greater than or equal to negative 6 but less than or equal to 6. Or it can be written in interval notation, negative 6, comma, 6, closed interval. Kung natuto ka for today's discussion, please hit like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more video lessons coming. So the next video lesson will be all about solving quadratic inequalities in two variables. So see you again next time here in Solve It with Sir Jude. Good day!